Okay everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to reshow my 2026 Disney DVD edition, update edition. So, last year, I did this in 2025 when I was still renting, when me and my mom and my grandma were still renting in a basement in somebody's house. But this time, it's going to be in here in my new room, in my new house. So let's get started. Here's the 2008 DVD of Enchanted. I'm not gonna go to the. I'm not gonna say their names and read the critic reviews and stuff. Here's the DVD guide, little Disney Movie Awards, and my I kind of inspired. Here's the disc, but still Enchanted is good. Next we have Finding Nemo. Here's this one. Here's this two. Get the guide out. Yeah. But still, Finding Nemo, good movie indeed. Next we have is WALL-E. Spine, top, bottom, back. Here's the DVD guide. This was the last Disney Pixar DVD to have a DVD guide. Here's the guide in there. And here's the disc. It's on a. You can see. Yep, there's this. I'm not gonna say their names because this will take a lot of time. Here is Coco. No inserts, but it's in the Eco case. But here's the disc. Very nice. Here is Aristocats. Got this thing here and DVD guide. And here's the disc as well. And mostly clear now that all my Disney DVDs and Blu-rays are mostly for collectibles and collect for my collection. I don't really watch them anymore because now I have Disney Plus. Here's Cars. Here's the disc. I'll show the inserts. We got these two things I'm not going to show. Yeah, sorry about the glare. Next we have Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Mickey's Treat. Here's the Disney Movie Awards. Here's the disc. Holographic. Here is Monsters, Inc. Here's this one. It's packaged a little different. And here's this too. The guide out. Not reading all the guides and reading all the critic reviews because this will take a lot of time. Sorry if I say that again. But still, Monsters Inc. is good. Here is Mickey Mouse Clubhouse story, Mickey's story, but surprise, I know I'm blocking this because it has the address of my town of the library in Bergenfield, but I'm not gonna show that I don't have permission in New Jersey. Here's spine, back, no inserts, and here's the disc on a holographic disc. Here is Snow White, the Platinum Edition DVD. This one. This two. Got these inserts and stuff, not gonna show. Here's the guide. I do have Beauty and the Beast. I'll show that. Not me for a while. Here's Snow White, the Platinum Edition DVD. Here's Snow White again on the Diamond Edition DVD. This is in a slipcover. I apologize where all the white spots you might see it because I don't know how. Because yeah, anyway, I could find a replacement with a slipcover. I have this film on Blu-ray. Here's this one. Here's this two. I think my 3 favorite dwarfs are actually Doc, Grumpy, and Dopey. Here's the guide. We got these inserts. Here's the guide. I do have Beauty and Beast. I don't have Fantasia 2000. I might get it on Blu-ray, not on DVD. But still, the 2009 Diamond Edition DVD of Snow White. Here is A Bug's Life. Here's this one. Here's this two. Here's the guide. Yeah, firstly, it's not a flap. I don't know why they do this. It showed me for one disc. Here is The Incredibles. Here's this one. Here's this two. Get the guide out. Here's DVD guide. Booklet. Here is The Little Mermaid. This is the limited issue D. I don't know why I got it. I found this in a garage sale and they never opened it, so I decided to take it. But I don't know why I got it, because I have the other DVD. I'll explain that in a bit. It's mine. Back. Here's the disc. The DVD guide. And this little thing I'm not going to show. Here's the disc. Here is another Little Mermaid DVD. This is the 2006 DVD of the Platinum Edition. Here's this one. I know you can see me recording here. Here's this two. Get the guide out. We got Disney DVD Insider. Here's the guide, the Disney Movie Awards. I don't have Peter Pan and the Jungle Book, unfortunately. I still do not have Peter Pan on the Diamond Edition Blu-ray and the Platinum Edition DVD. But the Jungle Book, I don't have the Platinum Edition DVD, but but I do have the Diamond Edition Blu-ray. But I said I'm not showing the Blu-rays. I'm going to show that in the next video. Here is a sequel, The Little Mermaid 2 Return to the Sea. I don't have The Little Mermaid 3 Ariel's Beginning on DVD yet, but hope to get soon. No inserts, but it's in the Eco case, and here's the disc. Very nice. Next we have Bambi. Here's this one. Here's this two. Get the guide out. Got Disney DVD Insider, not gonna show. Cinderella I do have, but I'm not showing it because it's missing this one, so Lady and Tramp I do not have. We know Lady and Tramp came out in February 2006. But still, Bambi. Here is Bambi. This is the Diamond Edition Blu-ray. DVD. Sorry, I said Blu-ray. I have the Blu-ray right there, but I'm not going to show it. Spine. The back. No inserts. Here's this one. Here's this two. Now for sequels. This is Bambi 2. We got the DVD guide. There's more statements not gonna show. Here's the disc. But still, Bambi 2 is a good sequel. Here is Beauty and the Beast. Here's this one. Here's this two. I'll get the guide out. It only just came with just a DVD guide. It never came with any of the sweepstakes. The only insert that just came with just a DVD guide booklet. Here's the guide. It doesn't say what was, yeah, they don't mention what was the next. Well, the one I do not have is The Lion King. Well, yeah, maybe they forgot it or they want to surprise it. I don't know. Maybe they didn't have no time to put it the next one. But still, Beauty and the Beast, good movie. But we're not done. I also got the Diamond Edition DVD. Spine, back. Here's this one. Here's this two. Get the guide out. Here's the DVD guide. It does show a nice picture of Belle and the Beast, but it doesn't know what was the next one. Well, we know the next two that just came out were Bambi and The Lion King. Well, I have Bambi on Diamond Edition DVD and Blu-ray, but I'm not going to show the Blu-ray. For The Lion King, I don't have the Diamond Edition DVD counterpart. I do have the Diamond Edition Blu-ray. But still, Beauty and the Beast good. Next we have is Alice in Wonderland. Here's this one. Here's this two. Here's the guide. But still, Alice in Wonderland. Next we have Lilo and Stitch. Get the guide out. Got its inserts, not gonna show. And here's the disc. Right here. Next we have Chicken Little. No inserts, but here's this. Next we have the 2-movie collection, volume collection of Mickey Mouse. No inserts. Here's this, the first episode, and here's the second episode. Here is Pete's Dragon. Disney Movie Insider, and here's the disc. Here is Mickey Mouse Christmas Carol. Well, I'm going to be watching this again because they're getting ready for the holidays. Disney Movie Insider, and here's the disc. I have Fantasia. I used to have the box, but it got ruined, so I have to keep this. Here's the first Fantasia. Here's the DVD guide. Here's the disc. Here is Fantasia 2000. I would like to have another one with the box anthology. Here's the disc, and here's the artwork. And here's Fantasia Leslie. I would like to have another one with the box. The guide there. And here's the disc. Here is Mickey Mouse Once Upon a Christmas. I have the 2-movie collection on Blu-ray. Right here. Here is the 2009 Platinum Edition DVD of Pinocchio. Here's this one. Here's this two. Get the guide out. Got these sweepstakes and stuff. Not gonna show. Here's the guide. Well, Snow White started again, but they didn't start with the Platinum Edition DVDs were no more, and Snow White started again. They started in the Diamond Edition DVD and Blu-ray. Well, Fantasia did not make in the Diamond Edition line. Instead, making Fantasia 2000 and 2-movie collection. Like I said, I need to get Fantasia on Blu-ray. But still, Pinocchio. Alright, well, I'm gonna start a new pile, but we're gonna put some piles on here. Next we have is Aladdin. Here's this one. Here's this two. Get the guide out. Here's the guide. I do have Bambi and Cinderella, but Cinderella I'm not going to show because unfortunately it's missing this one, unfortunately. So yeah, I did show Bambi already. But still, Aladdin. Next we have The Lion Guard, Unleash the Power. Unfortunately, this is not my favorite movie. Here's the disc. Next we have Dumbo, 60th anniversary. Here's the DVD guide. And here's the disc. Here is Dumbo again, the semi-anniversary edition DVD. Disney Movie Insider, and here's the disc. Here is my all-time favorite Disney movie. That's Sleeping Beauty. Yeah. Here's the spine, the back. Here's this one. Here's this two. Get the guide out. Got these sweepstakes and stuff. Not gonna really show because those are really inspired. Here's the guide. Pinocchio I do have. I already showed that. And Snow White I did show that as well. But Pinocchio was actually the last one. And Snow White started again. But it's not in the platinum no more. They started in the diamond edition. And I'll put the slip cover back. But still, Sleeping Beauty. Next we have 101 Dalmatians. Here's this one. Here's this two. Get the guide out. We got the Pat with Tail Wagging Fun. And I'm not going to show those. Those are inspired. Here's the guide. Sleeping Beauty. I do have already showed that already. But Pinocchio I already showed that as well. Well, these were the last two to be available on DVD. And the next two I have Pinocchio on Blu-ray. I'm not going to show that because I'm not doing this. But I will show the Blu-ray again. Here's the 101 Dalmatians. For Sleeping Beauty, I need to find the used copy of Blu-ray. Here is Pocahontas 2 Journey to a New World. I don't have the first Pocahontas yet. Here's the guide. Oops, sorry about that. This thing there I'm not going to show. Yeah, I taped this rip because there was a rip, so I didn't want it like that. And here's the disc. Here is a Goofy movie. Here's the Disney Movie Insider, and here's the disc. Here is the 2-movie collection DVD of Mulan. Here's this one. Here's this two. Oh no, this is the first Mulan, and this is the sequel, Mulan 2. Here is the 2-volume collection of Minnie Mouse. Well, unfortunately, I Love Minnie was no more because it got scratched up. Anyway, here's spine, back, the Disney Movie Insider, and here's the disc. And the last one I have is Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Choo Choo Express. Spine, the back, no inserts, but it's on a gray disc. Alright, that is all my Disney DVD collection, my reshowing of my Disney DVD collection for 2026. So stay tuned for my next video. Bye for now.